For those that have been watching this channel for quite some time, you know that I am obsessed with the sport of baseball. I mean, this entire channel revolves around baseball, specifically Major League Baseball. I love the sport. I played the sport. I coach the sport. I want to be involved in it as much as possible. With that being said, as the years have gone on, the sport of baseball and Major League Baseball has had some changes. Whether it's the way it's played, the way it's coached, the way it's analyzed, the way it's talked about, Major League Baseball is changing. And while Major League Baseball is changing and being played at the highest level it's ever been played at, the younger audience, the youth, is just not grabbing onto the game, and that's hurting the overall growth of baseball as a whole. Which is why I'm making this video talking about 5 new rules that Major League Baseball needs to implement in the upcoming season. Of course, if these are videos you guys like to see, the best way to show your support is hit that like button. It helps me out so much. If you like what you see and you want to see more of it, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. We're talking baseball on this channel almost every single day, so if you like baseball, this is a place to be. And get in that comment section down below. Let me know what you think about these videos. Did I miss any rules? Do you have any rules of your own that you'd like to see? Let me know in the comment section down below. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in the description. So without further ado, let's get going into the 5 rules or rule changes that MLB needs to implement for the next season. Ooh, we're starting it off with a controversial one. This has been the talk of the town recently. It is the hot topic in baseball right now. Rob Manfred, owners, coaches, players, everybody has been talking about it. That's right, we're talking about the shift. And my proposed rule changes, you gotta eliminate the shift. And here's how you do it. Here's my rule change completely, and then I'll give you my reasoning behind it. The new rule would be that you need to have 2 players on each side of second base on the infield. So you wouldn't be able to just stack 4 guys on the right side of the infield if you have a guy like Joey Gallo up at the plate. But you could still put that second baseman in shallow right field if you want to. You could have the first baseman play as far back, as far left as you want, as long as 2 players remain on each side of second base for the infield. Of course, excluding the pitcher and the catcher, because they can't move. Do you want to put your shortstop right behind second base? That is completely fine, but you can't have him on the second base side of second base. I understand why the shift has been in play. One, it's legal. It makes a lot of sense strategically. If you're a manager, you want to put your players in the best possible position to get the out so that you have the advantage. You have guys like Joey Gallo, who almost never hit the ball on the ground to the left side of the infield. So you stack all your guys on the right side, and if he does choose to lay down a bunt or push one to the left side of the field, you're okay because it's only a single instead of a home run. So strategically, it makes all the sense in the world, but here's my problem with it. And hear me out before you go crazy, because listen, I understand the shift's not going anywhere, but hear out my reasoning. It's not that bad. The shift has become more popular really in the last 10 years. You're starting to see teams use it more and more, and now teams shift almost on every single play. With my new proposed rule, you'll still be allowed to shift. You just have to keep 2 players on each side of the infield, which again allows for shifts, just have to keep 2 guys on each side. But the current way the shift works is you can have unlimited players anywhere on the field. This makes hitting the ball on the ground a lot more difficult for a lot of these players. A lot of the guys aren't going to opposite field because in order to beat the shift, people are not talking about going to opposite field, but the way to beat the shift that's being taught to players right now is to hit it over the shift, not to hit away from the shift. Hitting over the shift means an increase in launch angle, a focus on getting underneath the ball, hitting the bottom half of the baseball to elevate it over the shift, therefore hitting more home runs, launch angles, etc. Now, yes, home runs are exciting for baseball, but because of the way home runs are being hit with the increased launch angle, there are more swing and misses than ever before, and Major League Baseball is striking out at a record rate every single year. Every time a player strikes out, that's a ball that's not put in play, and that means that there wasn't any action besides the pitches. For the average to below average fan who doesn't understand the intricacies of baseball, who doesn't understand all the science, all the strategy behind the game, and is strictly watching for entertainment purposes, strikeouts are boring. People who don't have a good understanding of baseball and how it works and strikeouts and how difficult of a sport is only see that players are striking out more and they get bored. Because let's be honest, at the end of the day when you're watching baseball, it is an entertainment business. If there's a big amount of time between each ball being put into play like there is right now in baseball, which is right around that 4-minute mark, that will be seen as boring to the average or below average fan, the ones that you're trying to get into the game. Because people like me, and honestly people like you who are watching this video, we understand baseball. We don't need to be entertained every single pitch, every single at bat in order to continue to watch our favorite teams. But in order for the sport to grow, we need to get new eyes and new people into watching the game. And for someone who doesn't understand baseball, seeing strikeouts is boring. And this could be due to the fact that the shift has become so prevalent, and that's changed hitting philosophy, which has increased strikeouts. So that's why I think the shift should be eliminated. The next rule that I think Major League Baseball needs to implement for the upcoming seasons has to do with managers and instant replays. We all know that managers can challenge almost any play in Major League Baseball right now. Instant replay has been big for baseball. It ensures that the call gets made correctly, especially now when we have our 75-inch TVs that are in crystal clear HD. We can almost see better sometimes than the umpires on the field. So it's important that they get the call right because we have every single angle sitting on our butts at home. And we don't want to feel like our team has been cheated or that a player was treated unfairly or called out for the wrong reason. So don't get me wrong, I like instant replay. But my issue is with the managers and how the challenging of plays goes about. Currently, the way the rule is constructed is that the manager may hold up play in order to consider challenging the play that just happened on the field. Because as we know, the bench coach gets on the phone, they talk to someone upstairs in the booth who's looking at the instant replay, and they let them know whether or not that play should be challenged. And as we know, the manager's waiting on the top step. He's saying to the umpire, hold on a second, we're considering it. Let's slow it down. Let's wait for the play to happen. I hate this. It slows the game down a lot. Half the time, the managers don't even end up challenging, so we just wasted a minute, 2 minutes for absolutely nothing. And yes, I know 1 or 2 minutes doesn't seem like a big issue, but baseball talks about all the time pace of play and how to make the game shorter. Well, here's a solution. No more calling up to the booth for the manager to hear whether or not they should challenge the play or not. It needs to be the play happens, he's called out at first, bam, the manager's out of the dugout, ready to challenge the play. I don't want to have him wait on the top step of the dugout saying, hold on, give me a second. I want him to see the play, have a reaction, go, yep, I want to challenge that. Because right now there's too much calling on the phone, there's too much waiting. It adds a lot of time overall to games throughout an entire thing where there could be 3, 4 plays that might be thought about being challenged throughout a game. And it just slows the game down. If you want to challenge it, get out of the dugout quickly and make that decision. No more of this, hold on a second, give me a minute. Terrible, let's change it. The third rule I'd like to see added into Major League Baseball, which I think is on its way, is a pitch clock. Now this is currently implemented in minor league baseball, so many of the players that are already pitching in the major leagues came up pitching with a pitch clock. Back in 2015, Major League Baseball implemented a 20-second pitch clock in AA and AAA games. By implementing this pitch clock in the minor league games, it reduced the average time of games by about 15 minutes. Now the way I would like for it is a 20-second pitch clock when there's nobody on base, because of course with the windup, there's no reason you should be taking nearly that much time to throw every single pitch. With runners on base, it's a little bit more difficult to enforce, so I'm not necessarily sure how we would do it with runners on base, because the runner knows that something's gonna have to happen when that clock strikes 0, essentially allowing for him to time the pitcher. Now you can argue that the pitcher can change up his looks, change up his timing, but at the same time you don't want to force the pitcher to go too fast. But from the windup, you got 20 seconds. If you take more than 20 seconds to go every single pitch from the windup, that is absolutely insane. Back in 2017, some of the slowest pitchers were Yu Darvish, Justin Verlander, Zach Greinke, Jeremy Hellickson, taking nearly 30 seconds each time to throw a pitch. While this might not seem like a big difference from the 20-second pitch clock that I'm proposing, you have to keep in mind that that 20-second pitch clock is the maximum that's allowed. When that clock strikes 0, the batter is automatically given a ball if the pitch is not thrown. So you're going to be getting pitchers almost cutting their times in half, which is a huge difference and can really speed up the pace of play in baseball. The fourth rule that I want to see changed is you gotta add a DH to the National League, and it pains me to say this, it really does. I'm someone who loves small ball, I love the hit and running, I love the sacrifice bunting. It adds another level of strategy to baseball. But unfortunately, pretty much every 3 innings you have an automatic out coming up to the plate when the pitcher steps up. And for those watching at home and for the growth of baseball, that's not good, because automatic outs are not fun to watch unless you understand the intricacies of baseball. And I don't think it's as big of an issue as it's being made out, but it also causes some injuries for pitchers that are really not necessary, along with the fact that it adds more offense to the game, and of course, more offense in baseball is good for the sport, good for the entertainment value. So as much as I am resenting saying this, the National League, I think sooner or later, is going to have to get rid of the pitcher hitting and switch to a DH. You're giving too much money to pitchers to risk getting injured while they're up at the plate, not to mention that almost every 3 innings, that's a guaranteed out. Yes, I know some pitchers can rake, like Madison Bumgarner and Noah Syndergaard, but most pitchers hit around 125 or lower. So if you're interested in watching a guy who maybe gets a hit once every 10 at-bats, be my guest, but that's not good for baseball. And the fifth and final rule that I want changed is make play at the plates exciting again. Allow the runners to truck the catcher. Allow the catchers to block the plate. It's such a good rule. It was so exciting in baseball. I loved it. And ever since the Buster Posey injury in 2011, where he tore ligaments in his ankle and fractured his fibula, it hasn't been the same because of the rule change. I miss seeing those big collisions at the plate. It was huge. If you're a baseball fan, you can't forget Pudge Rodriguez, the play at the plate when he was with the Marlins, and he comes up with the ball and he's all pumped. I mean, that was such an exciting play, and you're never gonna see that in baseball again unless the rule changes. As someone who used to be a catcher, I loved play at the plates. I loved getting down, blocking the plate, coming up and being like, yeah, I got you out, boy. It was so exciting, and now there's no collisions ever, and if they are, they're baby collisions. They're almost accidental. I understand it's for player safety. You don't want to see players like Buster Posey getting injured for the season because of play at the plate. But that's kind of what you take the risk with playing a guy at catcher. That's why you see a lot of teams move really good offensive catchers to other positions, because they don't want to risk the injury there, but they still want to keep his bat. So this one isn't necessarily as difficult to understand as some of the other ones, but I want to see plays at the plate back in baseball. Trucking the catcher was so exciting. It was intense. It was amazing. It made you go, wow, look at that. What just happened? And you just don't get that with plays at the plate anymore, because now you got to slide in. The catcher can't even really block the plate. They got to catch it in front of the plate. Then they go for the swipe tag. It's just not nearly as fun and exciting. Give me some entertainment. Bring back home plate collisions. So those are the 5 rules that I think Major League Baseball needs to implement in the upcoming season. I would love to know what you guys think about these rules in the comment section down below. Do you like them? Do you hate them? Did I miss any? Let's get talking down there. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. That's the best way to support the channel. So if you liked it and you want to see more of this kind of content, hit the like button so I know. And also don't forget to subscribe if you are new here. You ain't subscribed already. Click that sub button so you don't miss out on any of the content. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you did enjoy this video. It's a little bit different, a little bit fun, a little bit interesting, different than MLB News because there's not much to talk about today. And I think you guys know the drill by now. YouTube recommends you watch this video right here. This is my most recent upload. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a happy new year. And yeah, expect to see me in these clothes for the next few days because I'm getting my wisdom teeth pulled. So yeah, I need to get videos done in advance. So yeah, let me go record those now. Bye.